Happy Monday, everybody, and Happy New Year. Welcome to this edition of the Racing Insiders podcast. I am Kate Dillon from Crate Insider, and I am here today with Steve Hendren from Hendren Racing Engines. And Steve, how's the New Year treating you so far?
Good. I bought a new gun.
Again?
Yes.
Today?
No, not today.
Oh, okay.
It was like,
New Year, new gun?
It was like New Year, new gun. I just had to buy one just for the fucking hell of it.
Oh,
well, I couldn't turn down the deal, actually.
Okay. All right.
So I ended up actually buying a Colt Anaconda 44 Magnum. So I got it for like $1,500.
And that's good.
Yes.
Okay. Because the normal price is
$2,000 or better.
Nice.
So.
Nice. Good deal. That's good.
Yeah.
25%
Every
off.
now and again, you pay attention to deals, you get deals.
Yeah, well, I mean, when you know the market that you're looking for.
Scoot this
Yeah.
a little bit.
There you go. That way you can be in frame.
More centered.
More centered.
Because I was going to go like this.
Yeah. No, I'm going to need you to lean in. Lean in.
Lean in. You got my attention for exactly this long, by the way.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Then I got to go watch football here in a little bit.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Yep.
Cool. Well, I know in one of you're in like 3 fantasy leagues this year, right?
I am, yes.
Okay. And one of them is already over and you won that league,
I
right?
won that. Yeah. So that was like $600 and something.
Nice. And then are you still in the running with any of your
I epically failed on, well, I didn't epically fail. My players epically failed in the one that I was actually leading going into the final 2 weeks. So.
But is all of fantasy football over now?
No, I got one league with Jeff Smith.
Okay.
So Jeff played me last night for the Super Bowl, he's playing me for the Super Bowl this weekend, but then we got another weekend of more points to be added.
Oh.
So I'm trying to beat Jeff Smith.
Okay.
And if nobody knows who that is, J&J Race Cars, Jeff Smith, my good buddy who, God, I've known since I moved here.
Yep. And of course, his dad is Freddie Smith. His grandpa was Grassy Smith. Yeah.
Yep. So,
yeah,
trying to beat Jeff.
Yeah. Hopefully we'll see Jeff and Heather this weekend.
Absolutely.
We're going to be at the Cars Racing Show. I see a couple folks are here.
Yep.
And I see Brian's here. He said, nice, good. Congratulate them about your gun.
Yep. And
Scott says, hi from wet and soggy California.
Yeah. I've got photos that my best friend has sent me. And it's pretty fugly in my hometown actually right now.
You said to me, hey, remember that tiny little creek in my hometown? And I was like,
the San Lorenzo River.
Right. But it looked like a creek.
It hasn't looked like a river since I moved here in like 95. It looks more like a little trickling stream. And now it's a raging river. Yeah.
It's good.
With like full-size trees getting pushed out to sea. So.
Wow. Neil's like wheeling and dealing. Well,
yes.
Speaking of wheeling and dealing, I know I'm going to see Neil this coming weekend and his brother Scott from Hooker Harness. And speaking of wheeling and dealing.
Absolutely.
Yes. Really.
I'm going to make sure I got paper straws ready for
Scott. Do you know that Tori and Scott's assistant colluded and got Scott an entire box of paper straws?
I absolutely do. That was like a pretty epic.
It was an epic prank.
Yeah.
I see Nigel's here from Australia. Happy New Year.
Good night.
Absolutely. And Brian says, big weekend coming up for y'all. Yes, absolutely. Yeah. Definitely a big weekend. Oh, and Michelle's here from Daytona 1.
Nice.
And of course, they've, thank goodness, really so thankful for Daytona 1 being our presenting sponsor for the Cars Racing Show. Excited. Earl's asking me, will you have Tylenol in the booth? Well, Earl, I always have Advil and Tylenol not too far away.
This is true. Yeah, you are like the carrier of Tylenol and Advil.
Yeah, and I don't even get that many headaches, but I like to be the prepared one. And yes, speaking of, there will be beer. Much beer.
A lot of beer.
And
music.
And some food. We'll throw a little bit of food in there. But yeah, so anybody who's coming to the show, the Cars Racing Show, is in this coming Friday and Saturday, January 6th and 7th. So for attendees, the show hours on Friday are 11 to 6. And then from 6 to 8 is when we're having our welcome party. We have multiple kegs because so many of our exhibitors stepped up to we put out a promotion that's saying, hey, want to be part of this party and you can adopt a keg.
Yeah.
So
and
many kegs were adopted.
What time's the boxing match between me and Earl? Isn't that like Saturday at like 1:00? I think we're like getting in the ring together and we're like going to just throw down.
I think that'd be a good thing
I
to
think
do.
it'd be fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
Like celebrity boxing match.
Yeah. Maybe what I need to get is what are those, like, what is it, the rockin' robots or something?
Yeah, that'd be hilarious.
The
that'd
boxing. Awesome. There's a lot of stores in Hickory. Maybe I need to go to a toy store and we can film that where you and Earl can duke it out.
Do the little thumb.
Yeah, yes, that would be hilarious. Awesome. Yes. Or we could get those sumo wrestling suits.
You know what's funny? you know what's funny though? Like in this industry, like a lot of people don't know that we're actually friends.
Yeah.
I mean, other than a few dudes that reasons. Yeah, we're most all of us engine builders are like friends and stuff like that. And, chassis builders for the most part and stuff like that.
Agreed. And I learned it at a young age, and I love how racing has taught me about the true spirit of competition. Because when I was a little kid, and I was a kid, then back then kids couldn't go into the pits unless they were 16, I believe.
Correct. Yeah.
And so us kids were always in the grandstands. And when you're in the grandstands and you're watching
at least that was the Midwest to the West Coast.
Yeah.
Here it could have been different.
It could have been, but when I was growing up, you had to be 16 to be in the pit. So as kids, we're up in the stands, and as a little kid, you're seeing like, my dad's the hero, everybody else is the enemy.
Right.
And it would just be shocking. I mean, afterwards, we would go down into the pits, and then all these racers would stand around and they're like joking and laughing and having beer, especially when my dad was sponsored by Pabst Blue Ribbon. There was always like a keg in our hauler there. And it was just like, it was so much for me to understand that, 15 minutes ago they were the enemy. And I mean, why is my dad talking to that guy? That's the bad people.
Well, it was like that with me and your brother, Jimmy Shields.
Yeah.
In our dirt rap. When we raced together we were racing together Friday night at Lawndale. So Thunder Valley here in North Carolina. And like people thought we hated each other. And like Jimmy's one of my best friends. I mean, so it's funny how people perceive different things,
Yeah. So the funny part is just that, I suppose technically you're competitors, you and Earl.
Oh, well, I mean, me and Earl, me and whoever. I mean,
it's
not, it's a competition, but it's not.
Right.
I mean, like, hell, I'm in my lane, they're in their lane. We're all good.
Great. Well, and Neil suggests that, Ramey, you're going to need a lot more than Tylenol.
Yeah, probably so. Yeah. Prescription strength Advil or some shit.
Maybe we'll have to have like, unfortunately, I can't bring my own alcoholic into the convention center, without being supervised or whatever. But trying to think of like hangover remedies, for Saturday morning. Yeah, I'll have to think.
Taco Bell.
There we go. And Nigel's here from Australia. He says Scorpion Racewear is offering $100 our Gen 3 SFI as we enter the USA market for members on here.
That's awesome.
Wonderful. Well, thanks, Nigel. That's great. Yeah. And Earl's like, hell yeah. He likes the idea of the boxing game because he says, I already got too many broken bones.
Yeah, I know. Well, that's why I was going to take advantage of it and totally beat the shit out of him. He's like all fucked up. So.
True. And Jim's giving, he's like, yeah, sweep the leg.
Exactly.
Last time I saw Earl, he was on crutches.
Yeah.
Yeah, at Andy's wedding. So, yeah.
I just got to remember those kung fu classes I took back in the day.
Oh my gosh. Just don't put it past me. Don't be surprised if I show up with one of those little boxing match games. I forget what those are called. I never had one.
That was what was it? That was fun as fuck, though. I remember I owned that as a kid. Or I didn't own it. I got given it to me as a kid. But
I never had that. One of what it reminds me of is Hungry Hippos.
Rocco Bots or something, or
Rock'em Sock'em.
Rock'em Sock'em Robots. Yeah, Rock'em Sock'em Robots.
Okay.
I think is what it was.
Okay, gotcha. Yes, yes. Fun times. I'll have to see if I can find that.
That'd be fun.
We could film it.
Yeah.
Okay. I sometimes watch the dumbest stuff.
I don't know if he can use his shoulder or not to like press his thumb.
I don't know.
Isn't his shoulder fucked up too?
I think so.
He's like breaking apart, man. I'm telling you.
Earl, Earl, we got to get some duct tape. Put you back together.
Yep.
You know what? I'm gonna have racers tape probably at the show.
Well, yeah, we could do that.
It'd be kind of like that healing tape there.
Like tape him up.
Oh, and Neil's like, Hammond is in the house. Yeah, absolutely. Yes.
Hopefully Hammond doesn't have like a damn whatchamacallit issue again this year.
No more kidney stones.
Yeah, no more kidney stones.
Concussions.
No.
Man, Dave's had a tough year.
I know.
Tough year. You know, my heart goes out to him, and I'm so glad he's coming down for the show.
I'm just gonna make fun of him. I'm gonna make fun of him the whole damn time.
Yeah, because you know what? He would do it to you.
I know, exactly. He'd be like, you pussy.
Yeah. So true. Oh, there's Dave. He goes, hey, kids. Yep, absolutely. Yeah. Welcome, Dave. And of course, Hammond Motorsports is going to be at the show.
Yep.
And yeah, really excited. And
talking about Chinese stuff, I assume.
You know, Dave's favorite topic is Chinese knockoffs.
Exactly.
Actually, I learned a phrase from Dave. He says, like Chinese R&D is rip off and you have to tell me. Dang it. I thought I had it there.
Write it up there, Dave.
Instead of research and design, it's rip off and something.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And Dave says, yeah, you can't be a pussy all the time.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm the one who said those words. So is what it is. And Billy's here. Can't wait till Thursday. He's headed up to the show.
Nice.
Excellent. We're gonna have some great cars there too. I'm really excited about that.
Yeah, the car. I think the cars are gonna be there. Are gonna be pretty awesome.
Yeah. We're gonna have some.
My kid's car's gonna be there actually.
Yes. I saw Alex today, and I know that
him and his train chassis. It'll be decked out in the whole Blue Ridge Outlaw deal.
Mm-hmm.
He'll be in there for American Racer tires.
Yeah. Yeah. That'll be. Oh, and there is Blue Ridge Outlaw Late Models is here on the show.
There you go.
Yep, we're looking forward to seeing their whole crew, and I believe they're releasing their schedule at the show.
I believe so. Yes.
And that's really exciting to have schedule releases and rules packages.
Yep.
I don't know if Blue Ridge is doing anything different, but I believe the Mid East series,
mm-hmm.
they're I don't know if they're having a rules meeting or just releasing their rules, but what a great opportunity for racers to be right there in a conversation with the series. Mm-hmm. If there are any questions, instead of waiting for it to be a problem sometime later on.
Yeah.
This is a good time to do that. All right. So we got some more comments here. I see Cameron's here from Florida. Happy New Year and see you all Saturday. He's coming up. Great. Nice. At the best racing show built. Thank you. And he talked to Hammond and is ready. Absolutely. Okay, so Paul's got a question. He says, is the video about adjusting valve springs on a 604 on the Crate Insider website still the best way to adjust them after a valve spring change?
Yes, absolutely.
Yes. Yeah. So
I mean, honestly, it's the only way to adjust them.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you'll get, I don't know, people have varying opinions, but yeah, I mean, no, it's the best way to go.
And I believe you call it 3/4 turn preload?
Preload on the lifter, yeah, correct.
Yep. And
so long as you're not like trying to float the valves and doing something stupid, that's the only way to go. Yeah.
I'm sorry, but that
I'm just being honest. I mean,
yeah. And he's got a follow up on that. He says, also, would you need to adjust them after they get warmed up?
No, I mean, honestly, so long as you can feel where zero is, no, it's not necessary because we're using that 3/4 of turn preload. So long as you know where zero is and you can go 3/4 of a turn, you're fine. It's not like doing a solid lift engine to where, you want to have the thing warmed up and, your warm setting is this.
Mm-hmm.
So we're only talking a few thousandths here and there. So 3/4 of a turn preload is roughly, what is it? Like 60 thousandths. So it's not going to make a massive difference. It's not like, or 80 thousandths, something like that. It's not like adjusting a solid lift cam.
Good to know. Great. And Cameron says he's ready to talk tires and see the best products in racing. Thank you again.
There we go.
Absolutely. Oh, here's Dave. Rip off and duplicate.
Yeah, there you go.
There you go. Yeah, that totally makes sense. Rip off and duplicate. Yep. Yes. Oh, and Shane's here from Moon Racing and Fabrication, Colorado. Nice. Welcome, Shane. Welcome to the show. And if anybody has any questions, whether it's tech questions or questions about the Cars Racing Show coming up or engine things, or just like, what is Steve drinking? What kind of beer?
Well, it's just Ultra. I got a whole keg. So we had our Christmas party.
Yes, we did have our Christmas party
last Friday.
Uh-huh.
And
well, like the Friday before, the Friday before Christmas.
Yeah. So like one of my buddies has a restaurant here in town, and I'm like, yeah, dude, I need like 2 kegs I need a keg of, we had Highland Pilsner, and then I want to just like keg of Ultra. He's like, okay, well, I can get you a half barrel keg of each. So I'm like, half barrel. Okay, that's like half a keg. That'll probably work out. I mean, we'll run out of the Highland, and then, we'll go to the Ultra.
Yeah.
After that, because I've got I can only fit like so much in my kegerator.
You can fit 2 skinny ones.
Yeah.
Or
2 6 barrel
one
kegs,
big round one. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So anyway, I'm like, yeah, that'll work out. I mean, we'll just swap beers middle of the night. Well, no. Apparently, unbeknownst to me, a half barrel keg is a fucking keg. So
yeah, I feel like we kind of failed.
I've got a whole fucking keg of Ultra next door now because we never got to put that in there because Kate was serving so much liquor.
Yeah.
That what do we have, about 60 people there probably at any given time?
Yeah.
Yeah,
we
somewhere
went through
around
a lot of liquor.
Yeah, it was a lot of liquor.
A lot of liquor.
But it was fun as shit. We had a great time.
A lot of liquor.
Which is halfway why we didn't do the show last Monday.
You were pretty much out.
There's people still recovering.
Well, the funny thing is, I'll have like a party like that. I'll have 2, maybe 3, short ones way early, like when the party starts.
Right.
And then by like 8 o'clock, like I'm done, and now I'm gonna like get completely sober by the time the party's over. I'm just not a huge drinker. Right. Yep. I see Neil is saying, gotta run. See you ever win this week. We'll have some great deals on belts. Awesome. And a bunch of products and merch available during the show. That's great. Honestly, Hooker Harness does some of the most fun merch.
Yeah, bring me another hoodie, dude.
Yeah.
Extra large, because I'm a fat fuck right now. So bring me another hoodie. I will gladly pay for it.
Yes. So. Well, I mean, you love your hoodie that says Hookers
100%.
Hookers save lives. There's nothing like being, on the arm of a man whose sweatshirt says Hookers save lives out in public.
Yeah. They do. They've saved my life. I mean, literally. So.
Yes. All right.
I'm talking about the seatbelts, by the way.
I was hoping. hoping. All right. American Racer Modifieds presented by Velocita. Appreciate you guys and all you do for the sport. See y'all this weekend.
Awesome. Absolutely.
We're thrilled. We're thrilled that you're joining us.
Great.
Tommy's got a follow-up question. He says, is the 602 valve adjustment the same preload?
Yes, it is. Yeah, it is actually. So definitely go that route.
Great. And Dave said, see everyone there, all loaded up and leaving in the afternoon.
Awesome.
Good for you. Yeah. And you know who's not loaded up? Who's getting a truck tomorrow?
I'm looking forward to seeing Hammond though.
I'm so happy to see Dave.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and Neil and everybody, but all the people we see once a year.
Yeah.
Or twice a year if we'd have gone to PRI, but
Yeah. I know we got just such an awesome group that comes together for this show, and we have so much fun.
Yep.
Just amongst ourselves, and then and then all the action and activity. It's so much of it is like what happens after the show. I mean, you've always said that about it's like what happens at the cocktail hour kind of thing.
That's the enjoyable part to me about going to a trade show is like. Well, I mean, the fun part about your show is you can actually talk to individuals one-on-one.
Yeah.
And you're not just getting overwhelmed.
Right.
Especially as somebody who's like trying to talk to somebody.
Mm-hmm.
Or you're not getting denied to be able to talk to somebody because there's just 12,000 people around you.
Well, and you're not getting crowded. I mean,
you're not crowded.
I don't want it to sound like there's nobody there,
No.
But like when you've got, we got like about 2,500 people or so, or 2,500 to 3,000, somewhere in that range. It's a lot different than 50,000.
You get quality conversation.
Yeah.
And so that's like really cool. So, I mean, especially if you get to go talk to Neil and his brother on belts, or go talk to Ramey about engines, or me about engines, or go by Crate Insider and buy shit.
There will be many things to buy in my 50-foot booth. Yes.
Right. So, I mean, no matter what the scenario is I think it's a better quality deal for that.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you really get a chance.
And I've lost track where I was going with that, but it was,
Well, I think it was just about the fact that, we're going to see everybody this weekend and we all get together and have a good time.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that, like the cocktail hour, other places you have to wait until it's like the off period because it's just so on. Okay. All right. Next.
Yeah.
And our show just isn't like that.
No.
We're far more connected with the people individually.
Absolutely.
And let's see. So Justin says, what are your thoughts on oil coolers with an Asphalt 602 running 50 lap features?
If you're running a very good quality oil, I do not recommend the oil cooler. Reason being is because no matter what you do, because you're running a cooler, you're having to run extra lines, which is actually diminishing the oil pressure in the engine. So you want that oil pressure to keep lifters pumped up, which will give you, if you got lifters bleeding down because of lack of oil pressure, then you're going to be losing valve lift.
Okay.
So I always recommend, if you're running obviously I'm going to promote the products that I use, but if you're using like Daytona 1 or you're using Klotz or you're using Schaefer's, something like that, then the lifter's going to stay pumped up.
Yeah. And then you don't need an oil cooler.
You don't need an oil cooler. And the engine's protected just fine.
Yeah. And then, of course, with these high quality oils, we're seeing part of them is the fact that we can have reduced temperatures.
Right.
We don't really run in hot oil.
And honestly, the two oils are, the Klotz and the Daytona 1, at higher engine temperatures, they do sustain that viscosity to where it'll keep the lifter pumped up.
Yeah, where other ones will either break down at a molecular level or they'll turn into just water.
Yeah.
And these ones will maintain their structural integrity so that you continue to have, obviously you're going to have I always get viscosity mixed up, but it's going to be a runnier oil, but it's not going to turn into just water or just turn into junk.
But that being said, most high quality name brand oils are going to protect the engine just fine.
Great. Oh, Cameron says you should wear that sweet shirt like I did in Miami, Florida. It's awesome to see the expression on everybody's face when they walk by.
That's true.
Yeah, the hookers save lives. All right, Chris has a question. He says, where would you recommend to connect a water pressure gauge? Top of water pump, intake, or someplace else?
Top of the water pump.
Okay.
Is like a great place to do it, honestly.
Great.
And really can be anywhere in the system, because once you lose pressure, you lose pressure. But yeah, top of the water pump's really convenient because it's like right there. And you just like run the little line through your intake manifold underneath and pop it right in. So
nice. Dave says no effing EVs down there.
Yeah, there's none.
No.
That I know of.
The closest we get is my tiny little pit bike that I will be running around with.
You'll be riding your little.
I will absolutely be riding my electric pit bike in the convention center.
Right.
I charged it over the weekend. Made sure.
Well, what's fun was last year we were doing burnouts on that thing after the show.
Yeah. I think I'll probably bring the second one with me just so if we wanted to, we could have little pit bike races. That'd be super fun.
That'd be fun.
It's really not a fair fight because they're not really even the same motor in both of those.
Right.
But yeah, it's
you can still wreck somebody and win. So
there's that. There's that. And all right, Chad has a question. He says, why do you run a water pressure gauge? This is a great question.
Yeah. So a water pressure gauge is very advantageous because what happens to a lot of people, you can catch a rock in the radiator. And as we know, most race car drivers do not pay attention to their gauges. So what they'll see is whatever's on the gauge, usually during yellow flag laps. So if you're racing and all of a sudden you get, a rock through the radiator and the water drains out of said radiator, then you can run into an issue to where once that water starts leaving, well, it's not you will run into an issue to where that water is replaced by steam. Steam's what ruins engines because there's no water in there. So, excuse me. What the water pressure gauge does is it tells you as soon as you lose pressure. So in other words, if you got a 28-pound cap, let's say, then as soon as that thing drops below, I don't know, water pressure gauges are 15 pounds maybe? I don't know off the top of my head. Yeah. Anyways, as soon as it drops below that, then you get a fucking dummy light that comes on.
Yeah.
And then hey, I got a problem in the water system.
Right.
Which will prevent you from continuing on and ruining the engine. Because a lot of times what happens is when the engine reads steam, it's colder than the water. So you could have no water in the system and show like 210 on the gauge.
Right. It'll just get locked up and it won't
where
show.
the motor is actually just freaking burning up.
Absolutely. And you can completely lose an engine that way. I actually heard that first from Ben Baker from AFCO, which we'll see Ben this weekend too.
Exactly. Awesome. Ben's a badass.
Yeah, he's awesome. Yeah. Yeah. So that water pressure is probably even more important than a water temperature.
Yeah.
Well, and one thing you like to do with water temperature, one question you get a lot is like, what is the ideal water temperature? Oh my gosh, I'm running 220. Is that too hot? And your big question always is, are you pushing water?
Right. I mean, that's the main thing. I mean, if you're pushing water out of the system, then that's being replaced by steam.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you can technically run an engine at 280 degrees all day long, so long as there's water in the system. And honestly, if you like look at the NASCAR dudes, that's the whole thing. I mean, they're running it like just obscene water temperatures, but they're not pushing water out of the system because most of them are like pressurized system.
Right. Yeah. Interesting. All right. Alan is here. He says, hey guys, another year in the book. Wishing you all the best. Steve, I am currently working on changing braided fuel lines from fuel cell to carburetor. I have always been careful not to get a line kit that has a small ID hose. With all the braided line manufacturers out there, what is your preferred size hose? D98 fuel, no return. So braided fuel lines from the fuel cell to the carburetor.
Yeah, I mean, all right. So D98. Are we talking like ethanol? D98. Sounds like gas.
It sounds like it's a gas.
Yeah, if it's
like a 98 octane.
Yeah, if that's gas, then like -10.
Oh, -10, not -8.
No,
okay.
No -10.
Okay.
Once you get into the methanol range, -10 works all the way up until the 85. Okay. Beyond the 85 on methanol, you need -12.
Oh, bigger. And he's got a 602 Sportsman mod.
It's bigger because if it's methanol, you have to flow 2.2 times the volume of liquid.
Right. Now, you're also doing that with the 85. You're doing the -10 or -12?
We're doing -10.
-10. Okay. Gotcha.
-10 on the ins or coming in, -8 on return. Okay. Methanol, you'd want to go like -12 coming in, -10 on return.
Okay. Good to know. Cameron says, not having a water pressure gauge cost me and Chris a motor 3 years ago and finished second, but killed a motor. We will never race without a water pressure gauge. Music off Bluetooth. So I don't know if you're talking to Alexa there. That happens to me sometimes there. Yeah. Actually, I think Alexa is like my little scapegoat. I yell it. If I'm going to yell at anybody, I yell at Alexa. Yeah. It happens a lot. Yeah, she's just like stops playing music. It makes me mad. All right. Justin says, is there power to be gained with a smaller balancer and lightweight flex plate with a 602?
Power, no. Acceleration rate, yeah, there's probably going to be a minute amount. More so with the flex plate than with the balancer.
No, but isn't the balancer part of the engine? Like you can't change that, or can you?
Well, some asphalt series allow you to change the balancer.
Okay.
So, I mean, anything we do on dirt.
And Justin is racing asphalt.
Correct.
Okay.
So, yeah, I mean, acceleration rate minutely, because you're still talking the balancer. Let's say you got an 8-inch balancer, right?
Right.
But then you're allowed to run a 6-inch. All right. So that diameter there, it's going to change acceleration rate by a minute amount. But the bigger deal is the flywheel in the back. Okay. So, yeah, the lighter you can get on the flywheel in the back,
rotating weight.
Rotating weight.
Yeah. Makes sense. Good to know. And Alan said,
and also deceleration rate increases. So on asphalt, both may be an advantage because you're not using as much brake getting in the corner.
And on that D98, Alan's saying that is a
VP. Yeah. Yep. Yeah. So -10 inlet, -8 return if you're running a return.
Okay, and Justin says that they have no balancer rules currently.
Yeah, I mean, I'd run a 6-inch. I mean, I don't see a problem with it. I mean, again, that's not going to be as big a gain as like getting rid of flywheel mass. Great, cool. Oh, and look at how much beer you have left. We still have more Steve time. Got that much attention left. Yep. I need to go watch football and get a sandwich. Yeah. So who's playing tonight? The Bills and Cincinnati, which I think it's going to be a great fucking game. So
Buffalo Bills, Cincinnati Bengals. Okay. Yeah. Who do you think's going to the Super Bowl? I don't watch football anymore, so.
Oh, shit. I don't know. I don't know because, like, yeah, I don't know. I don't know yet. I got to watch what the wild card deal does.
Okay, so they're still not to that level of
because playoffs. My whole thing is you can never count out Tom Brady.
No, you cannot.
Mm-hmm. I mean, the guy's 8-8 right now after whooping the shit out of Carolina and playing his best game of the season. But what does Tom Brady usually do? His best games of the season are usually in the playoffs and everything else. So I don't know. Yeah, I'm
when it counts.
I just gotta. Yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't want to make a guess on that, honestly.
Yeah. Dave Goebels here. He says, "Happy New Year, Steve and Kate."
Yeah, man.
See you all end of the month, Steve.
Absolutely.
Bring your happy hour game. Oh yeah.
We got it going on.
Oh, and Paul says, Frisco Bills, and I'm a Cowboys fan.
Yeah.
San Francisco and the Bill. That's who Buffalo Bills. That's who he thinks going to the Super Bowl.
I'm not a Cowboys fan by any means.
No, and he is, but he's
no, I know.
Mm-hmm.
So I normally make fun of Cowboys fans, but I'm not going to make fun of you because I think you might be close. Yeah. I'm going to say the Bills at least.
So, wow. So they got their game on this year, huh?
Been pretty fucking impressive, yeah.
And then 49ers had a rough start to the season, didn't they? And then they started coming back.
49ers been through like 3 fucking quarterbacks. So, I mean,
yeah.
And then I know Maria at FK would love to see the 49ers go in.
Yeah, she would. Yeah, she would. She's a hardcore fan. Yeah.
She's the hardest core 49ers fan I've ever met.
Yeah. She's actually the hardest core football
Which
fan.
Which is hilarious, like growing up in Connecticut, and you're like a 49ers fan.
Yeah, that is wild. Absolutely. There was another question that came in like totally separately over the course of the week. And someone asked, is it worth it to index spark plugs?
On 602s and 604s, no. I mean, indexing plugs is primarily on stuff with like really close tolerance. As far as like, where the electrode is on the spark plug. Mm-hmm. But I've tried it indexed, unindexed. Well, unindexed, just throw them in there. No difference on those.
Now, you do actually have a really good tech tip about spark plugs and the fact that you do not want to use a black Sharpie.
Oh, well, there's that. Yeah.
So tell us about
if you're going to index your spark plugs for whatever reason you want to do it on, a crate engine, do not use a black Sharpie. Because black Sharpie contains what do you call it?
Carbon black.
Carbon black, yeah. And carbon black, you can actually watch in the dark. I mean, it have to be dark out, but you can actually watch the spark plug fire up the carbon.
Right. So if I was to take a plate, let's just say like a ceramic plate, and I was to draw a line across it with Sharpie. Right. And I was to light
electricity to it. Yeah. It's going to follow the carbon.
Yeah.
So don't do that.
Yeah.
You can use red, blue, pink, purple, yellow, whatever.
Yeah, but not black.
Don't use black.
So I think that's a great tech tip of the day. What are you most excited about at the show?
Honestly, just like hanging out and seeing everybody. Mm-hmm. I mean, really, I have a good time there every year. I mean, because again, I get to have quality conversations with people. Where normally if I go to, I'll throw PR under the bus, but normally if I go there, it's a challenge to be able to talk to the people who are actually people who want to talk to me and have a quality conversation.
Well, you've probably been to some of those racing shows that are auctions and stuff as well.
I have, and I'm not a big fan of that.
Right. Because you're not going to have good conversations. You're just kind of looking for deals, and we don't have any auctions at our show, but you can buy stuff. Yeah. Buy stuff, take it home. Show. Yeah, it's a buying show. And, for people that really want to take that next level of their knowledge, there's also, I don't know if there's any seats left, but Race Know-How is doing their first live in-person seminar. Jonathan Masters has had Race Know-How now for a few years.
Yeah.
And it's a membership program. And with the membership, he constantly releases new videos that he interviews experts for. I mean, I know Dave Hammond's been one of them, and of course Tater Masters is Jonathan's dad, and Mike Knuckles. I mean, lot of really great guys, but they're doing their first in-person situation there, so that's really.
And then
really cool.
What is it? End of the month here?
Oh yeah.
You booked our flights the other day, actually.
I did.
So
We'll be in Pennsylvania.
Yep.
Towards the end of the month. That's what Dave would say in about
Race
Mr.
Logic.
Happy.
Yeah.
Yep. So Race Logic, and there's still some seats left for that one as well. The Crate Late Model class,
which surprises me, honestly.
Yeah, it is a surprise. Yeah, I mean, but that's a pretty big venue too. So
it is.
Yeah. All right. Here's a question here from BBQ79. Good evening, Steve. What is the best way to get to a 362 cubic inch motor?
What do you mean?
I don't know. What is the best way to get to a 362 cubic inch motor?
Well, bore and stroke, but I mean,
we're not sure of the question.
Yeah, bore and stroke.
Yeah.
So.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, there's so many different combinations. I mean, honestly.
Well, and that's what he's asking. Like, what do you think is the best combination?
Yeah. I mean, back in the day, I mean, I had, golly, back when it was, I had, longer stroke, small bore, and I've had, to me personally, if you're going to do a 362, I'd do small bore, small stroke, big bore. So it was probably, back when I was racing super late models. So mid 2000s, we were doing 3-inch 35 stroke by 155 bore. So 362. I mean, that's off the top of my head. It could be 145. I don't know. But that's what we were doing back in the day, is short stroke, big bore. And to me, that shit runs best at that, cubic inch level.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, Alan's here. He says, Happy New Year, Kate and Steve. Unfortunately, I'm not going to make it to the car show this weekend because I was diagnosed with the thing yesterday. Hope you have a great and productive show. Oh, Alan, I'm so sorry that you're not going to be able to make it. And yes, sucks. I'm going to call it the thing.
The thing, yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
the thing.
Yeah.
Okay, that's the JP Sears version.
Right, exactly.
And I was getting the Maverick of Wall Street version. Right. I heard somebody today call it the coupe. And that would be liberal hive mind. All right. And Brian, he's here from Race Logic. He says, sure, Kate, I can't make it this year. It's a great show. Well, Brian's granddaughter is having her 1-year birthday.
Oh, you can't come here for that. Yeah, you got to be there.
No, you are not missing your granddaughter's first birthday party.
God, no.
For a trade show. Now, Earl's got a great idea. He says, boxing match this year, next year, engine build competition.
We should see who can put one together the fastest or take one apart the fastest. Or both. Put it together or take it apart, put it together.
You know what?
That'd be fucking hilarious.
That would be. You know what? They also make those Lego kits that are like an engine, and you guys could build Lego engines.
No, we're not going to do that.
Okay. A lot of fun. All right. Jeff says a lot of misrepresented parts at auctions for sure.
Oh, absolutely.
I've never gotten into the auction stuff.
Yeah, I haven't either. That's usually a shit show, honestly.
Yeah.
And guys who buy lots of stuff, normally lots, a lot.
Right.
They're buying garbage. Yeah.
Yeah. And Justin says we could call it the cootie virus. We was all scared in school for catching the cooties.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's
exactly.
So true. That's so true. Oh, Earl's making new rules for the engine building competition after a 12-pack.
All right. So what we need to do is promote this throughout the year, and we'll do rules that we have to abide by. The 12-pack thing, I think that's a great idea. Yeah,
you're gonna have to go off site for it. Just letting you know. So I
have seen Earl after 12-pack.
Okay. Well, that's probably just.
And I'm really confident that if that's the only rule, I'm gonna win. Because that's my normal Tuesday night.
I know it is. Before you even sit down here.
Right.
Yeah. Earl's like, damn. You've been training for this your whole life.
Fuck yeah. Dominate this shit. We can even bet money.
It's it's more fun
if he's not gimpy next year this time.
Well, we don't know. We want a healthy Earl. Yeah. We want Earl to be healthy and all together.
Right.
Yeah. All the right pieces.
Or if I'm not gimpy, shit, I'm almost as old as he is now.
It's true. Yeah. You've knock on wood, you've been awfully damn lucky. Lucky.
Better be lucky than you.
Either that or you're just too damn mean.
Well, there's probably that.
Yeah. Like things come to try to tear you down and they're like, oh no, we're scared of that.
Yeah. Well.
That could be it. All right, Jeff has a question. He says, it's my first year running a 602. What rate of valve spring should I get when I replace them? Okay, I can't tell from his picture here. Does that look like asphalt? Yeah. Okay.
So I know what you're referring to, I believe.
Is this
okay. This is going to be one of those questions about certain companies out there selling 84-pound valve springs, and for a stupid amount of money, and then like 82-pound valve springs for less money, and all that shit. That is 100% total bullshit. Because number one, they're not rating them correctly, which I wrote a whole entire blog on it. Which,
yeah,
I probably need to have you post that on your page,
probably,
because that's all bullshit. So. Honestly, on 602s, you just need it. I don't even want to say you need it. I mean, you sell them because that's what people want. A rated valve spring.
No, okay. I can take part of this.
Go ahead.
So what?
Shit pisses me off. Just the way people are getting ripped off by this.
We rate valve springs all the time. I have a bench tester, which is digital, and it wouldn't matter if you pull it or Steve pulls it or I pull it. We're all going to get the same roundabout number, but it does depend on where we set the height. So where we set the height, according to what you've taught me, is that we set the height about halfway through the path of travel. So when somebody asks me, well, hey, how do your 602 valve springs rate? Well, I'm like, I can tell you 170, but it's a number that doesn't mean anything to anybody. Because when you rate it install height, basically you've got this spring and you're basically just kissing the thing. Where we're crushing it to find out, okay, what does it actually have? Because if I'm just gonna kiss them, oh, aren't they cute? It doesn't really. It's not really telling you anything.
No. So per cycle, you see open and close once. You see mid lift twice.
Right.
So everything we do is mid lift. Mm-hmm. So there's an 84-pound on the seat valve spring. I can show you all day long where that bitch at max lift is probably gonna be way less than what it's supposed to be. Compared to an 82-pound valve spring on the seat, could be higher at max lift. And then I can show you where something that measures way less than either one of those is better at mid lift. So it's about controlling the valve.
And that's why we measure them at mid lift, and we don't sell them that way. We don't really promote that.
You don't promote a number.
And then it's unfortunate that other companies are out there selling that, because it's just
I call them scam artists. But.
Well, and maybe whether it's they don't know any better or not, I don't know. Because even when we rate them, we're doing our best. And really what rating them is going to do is it's really going to flesh out the really crappy ones. And the really crappy ones, they get tossed aside to end up in one of my craft projects at some point. Right. But, other than that, we see a lot of variation in the 602 springs. I would say, when guys call me and they say, hey, do I need the matched set of beehives for my 604? I'd tell them, hey, if it's my race car, I wouldn't worry about it. The beehives are pretty darn consistent, but the 602 springs really are kind of all over.
They do they vary quite a bit. But they really do. It's that mid lift number that I'm looking at.
Yeah, and even that mid lift number, I mean, we've got about
you got a variance, yeah. I mean, there's going to be, because like I said, you can have an 84-pound valve spring, 84 on the seat, that is absolute shit mid lift, and less than an 81-pound valve spring on the seat, but mid lift is great and high end is great. So it's
and I get the calls. I mean, I'm testing these valve springs, they're rated and they're only testing 82 pounds. Who are you? What are you dude? I mean, seriously, there's a lot more to it.
It's way more to it than what people think. And unfortunately, this one particular shithole fucking company has like propagated this rumor that you got to have 84, 85 pound springs and blah, blah, blah. And all the shit, here's our knockoff pit lights and all this shit, So.
Yeah, for sure. Oh, and so now back to the Earl
and
Earl conversation. Earl says, what? You're older, son.
Fuck, you look older. Damn. I didn't know that. There's no way.
Yeah. Wow.
There's no way I'm older than Earl Ramey.
I don't know.
I thought he was like 62.
No, you're doing one of your Steve things. Yeah, it's like when you spot one of my gray hair, it's like, oh man, you're looking old. Yeah.
Yeah. If I ever said that, I would go over like a fucking lead balloon.
Oh yeah. Yeah. But see, I would not threaten you on the show because then that could be used against me sometime later. But Craig says, hey, the Crate Insider ones, that's the only ones I've ever bought. So if you're new to the show, Jeff, we do sell them at CrateInsider.com, and we are legit.
Well, I mean, honestly, when you started doing that stuff, you went through me. So I told you what the parameter was that I wanted to where you like sell a quality spring.
Absolutely.
And
I was doing it with your dial tester.
Correct.
And then at some point I saw that Longacre bench tester, and I remember buying that, and like it was a big deal for me to buy this bench tester.
It was quite expensive.
And it was expensive, and somebody was like, I remember them commenting on Facebook being like, you're going to have to rate a lot of springs, pay for that.
Yeah.
We rate, oh my God, I don't even know how many sets we've sold.
Obscene.
It is obscene because now we pretty much, I buy anywhere from like 75 to 100 boxes of each one.
Yeah.
With like a month.
Yep.
And I mean, maybe that's a lot for some people. We're a little company, so it's kind of like a lot for us.
Right.
But you do the math, it doesn't take long. We do thousands and thousands of springs for sure. And let's see. Alan says valve springs are not rated on seat pressure, but they are matched, correct? Yes. They're matched as in they're not rated at seat pressure. They're rated at mid-lift. And then they are matched. Absolutely. Yes. So like pressures, and they're
matched at mid-lift.
Matched at mid-lift. And then we do separate intakes from exhaust.
Correct.
So we've got two. Oh, and Earl says he's 49, bud. You're more than 49, Steve.
My fucking ass. There's no way.
See, you are lucky. Look at your amazing health.
All right, well, I'm going to kick him in the fucking knee this week, and we'll see how old he is.
Wow. All right. John's got a question. He says, how much jets should change for Florida elevation and anything else? Also, if only have 2 jets per number, would you put the bigger numbers in front or back?
Number one, I'd figure out who built the carburetor and ask them. I'm not being a dick, but that's what I do first. Number two, like where I'm at, we're at like about 1,600 feet. And like the difference between here and like sea level is not that much. Maybe 1 jet size. So
I'm trying to remember. Willie had an app for quite a while.
Yeah, he does. I think he still does. Yeah.
No, they stopped updating it or something. Yeah. I don't think they have it anymore. But it would tell you, like you could go in there and see like the barometric pressure and everything of like exactly where you were, or at least where the airport was, where you're located.
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
And it would talk about that.
Pretty awesome. But like even in that, I remember fiddling around with it. I mean the change is not much at all. So I mean, I can't really remember. Yeah, I wouldn't. I mean, I've got like I do like Bronson shit.
Yeah.
And we, he races in Florida all the time, obviously. Great stuff. And, obviously he's a super guy. But, he's talked to my brother before. He's like, oh, what should I do here? And it's like 1 jet. Not even, anything crazy.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's not a lot of change. Because, I mean, 1 jet can be massive because of the diameter of the jet. I mean, I'm just throwing these numbers out there. These are not accurate by any means. But if you look at jet sizes, like the orifice of the jet, you can go from, let's say, a 72 to a 74. And again, this is an example, not accurate. But you're not gaining 2 thousandths, you're gaining 10. But then you go to a 75 and it drops back to 8. So a lot of people are fooled by jets. So nowadays, most modern carburetors, most people are keeping the jets the same and using emulsion bleeds and air bleeds.
Okay.
To change how everything runs.
Good to know.
So again, I would talk to the carburetor manufacturer.
Yeah, it always pays to have a connection with your carburetor,
right?
Your carb guy, for sure. Cameron says he sent you something on Facebook Messenger, Steve, and if you would, please take a look at it and respond. Probably just not now. And then Eric says, hello, what radiator fan uses the least horsepower and still moves enough air for cooling a 604 on methanol with 1-to-1 pulleys and double pass radiator?
Pretty much anything, honestly, man. I'm a big fan of the race fan.
Yeah.
The race fan.
Yeah.
Which is actually the name of it.
Mm-hmm.
At that point, you can use 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8.
Not 5.
2, 3, 4, 6 blades if you wanted to. But anything on methanol,
you barely need a fan.
Honestly, you barely need a fan. So probably like a 15-inch 2-blade race fan.
Yeah, I'd probably go with 17. 2-blade 17-inch.
Well, I mean, that's what we're using on an E85 and cooling them no problem in the middle of summer here. So,
okay. True.
I mean,
2-blade 15?
It ain't going to take much. Yeah.
No. Be a good one. And Lucas says intake springs are different than the exhaust on a 602?
Yes. The intake springs are going to be actually showing a little higher rate.
Mm-hmm. Slightly heavier.
Because it's a heavier valve.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's how we rate them. And he also says, should the 602 run synthetic oil?
After initial break-in, I recommend full synthetic for everything.
Yeah. So make sure you break it in on dinosaur oil first.
Dinosaur oil.
Yeah. Yeah. Or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
Then non-synthetic, I guess. Break it in on that.
The fuck keeps blowing?
Otherwise, it might be Cameron blowing you up. I'm not sure. Probably. He wanted you to respond to something. So, but yeah, you could always mute. I never muted my phone. I'm just not as popular as you. You're more popular than I am. But those are great questions. Yep. I see, Steve, you're about on your last sip of beer there.
I am. So my attention span is, it's almost time to go watch football.
Yeah, that is like an hour's worth of beer. I like
exactly.
that. Yeah, that works.
Worked out good.
Well, cool. Oh, a couple things here.
Yeah.
And Tommy says, wow, learned a lot tonight on valve springs. We talk about valve springs a lot on this channel.
Sure. We talk a lot about valve springs and fuel and different things. So.
Yeah, and thanks. And for anyone who's not either subscribed to us on YouTube or likes us on Facebook, we'd love for you to follow us on any of those platforms. And thank you so much for your comments. It means a lot. And okay, Trina's here, says 3,500 crank or 3.5 crank. And okay, you're gonna have to read this one, Steve.
Yeah, I know. 4-inch 60 bore. Yeah, it's 362.
Okay.
Yeah, on a budget. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But I mean, like I said, you go 3-inch 335 stroke and what is it, 4,125 or 4,135 bore or whatever. You're looking at 362 also. And so I will always favor short stroke big bore versus that combination right there.
Gotcha. Oh, and Cameron says yes, that was him messaging you on Messenger, and love you all and thank you for everything.
Yep.
So yeah, I want to thank you all for being here. I hope anyone who's close to the North Carolina area that or make the trip this coming weekend, January 6th and 7th. The Cars Racing Show will be at the Hickory Metro Convention Center in Hickory, North Carolina. It's exit 125 off of I-40. And of course, we'll have it Friday, 11 to 6, of course, with the party from 6 to 8 on Friday. And then Saturday, 9 to 5.
I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah,
actually.
It is really going to be a good time.
I'm looking forward to Earl needing fucking Tylenol the next day.
Me too. Oh, and Stanley, big thank you so much. He says another great program tonight. David Smith Carbs, or David Smith is here from David Smith Carbs. He said, hate to miss the show. Sounds like it will be fun.
Yep.
I think David will be back with.
Is David coming?
He's not going to make it this time.
What the fuck?
Well, I mean, it's good reasons, but hope that we'll get him next year. Yeah, we got to get him. We're giving it years in advance here.
Yep.
So
that's one of the best carburetor makers out there too. So.
Yeah. And sometimes David's, even here as commenting on the show has helped out with some of the carburetor questions and, really love when we get this involvement. And, it's really been great tonight. We've had so much involvement on the show and now we get to go do it in person this coming weekend. Yeah. So if you're looking for more information or if you want to get tickets or anything else, you can find the information about the trade show at carsracingshow.com. Again, carsracingshow.com.
Yeah.
So I think that's all we've got for this week. You have any final words, Steve?
No.
Okay. It's time to get another beer. All right.
No, I know it's time to go watch football.
Okay. All right.
It's like it's going to be a good game.
Yes. All right. Well, I'll let you go
or
watch
a
football.
shit game, depending
Either
on,
way.
because all weekend long, like all the college shit, the guys that were supposed to win lost. So we'll see how it goes tonight with the pros.
Well, thank you guys for being here. Hope to see a lot of you this weekend at the Cars Racing Show. Otherwise, we'll see you next Monday. Have a great week and Happy New Year.